Welcome to another episode of Sports and Discourse with your host, Derek Stevenson. And today is a real sad day for me, man. And I'm going to tell you why. Um, a lot of people might not know this, but Roger Clemens is probably my favorite baseball player of all time, right? And I got the sad news last night that him and Barry Bonds are being shut out of the Hall of Fame, man. And it was upsetting to me because me being a casual baseball fan, right? I feel like that whole steroid era when you had guys like Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, like just a whole lot of baseball players ended up being found to have taken some sort of performance enhancing drug, right? And yeah, they definitely cheated the game, right? And I understand baseball purists who feel like because they cheated the game, they don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, right? Like, I 100% get that. But for the guys like me, the casuals, man, I loved baseball then. Um, to be honest with you, I really don't pay attention to baseball anymore. I don't follow it. Like I said, I don't have a baseball team. I really don't keep up with the players. There's not a particular player that I like to watch. Um, but if you remember that era, man, that was some good, entertaining sports at that time. And like most people would probably agree with me that watching a baseball game live is actually pretty entertaining. It's fun, man. Like even if you watch it on like minor league level, like baseball games at the actual stadium, they're fun to go to, right? But watching it on TV is so boring. um, and that's why I know a whole lot of people that really only watch baseball in the when the playoffs start, and some people only watch the World Series. Me personally, at this point, I probably would only sit down and watch the World Series. Um, but I just remember that time period. Man, you could be watching ESPN or something like that. You could be watching anything. You could be watching some other game. You might be watching, who knows, man. You could just be watching anything on ESPN, and all of a sudden you would hear that little ticker at the bottom, and it'd be like Barry Bonds is up to bat. You might be watching basketball, but when that ticker come across the screen and it switch over to Barry Bonds, man, you ain't changing the channel with Barry Bonds at the plate. And that was just a fun time to just watch and see how many home runs these boys was gonna actually hit. And even if they struck out, like Sammy Sosa, Sammy Sosa was one of them players that like he always swung for the fences. So he pretty much either was gonna hit a home run or he was gonna strike out, right? And his managers and teammates might have not appreciated that, but as a fan, we appreciated that because we don't really care, like we respect, the great hitters. Absolutely. Like, I got to see Tony Gwynn, Ichiro, like I got to see some real top notch hitters, right? And so like I got a great level of respect for guys that can just place the ball around the field, right? If they need to go, if they need to hit ground balls, they can hit ground balls. If they need to hit it to left field, if they need to hit it to right, they just can work the field with the baseball. Like they probably more skilled than anybody that's known as a home run hitter as far as his hitting. but it's just not the same as seeing like, you know, Ken Griffey or somebody like. And I don't know if Ken Griffey ever actually used steroids. He may not have. It might be a few guys out there that may have never taken steroids or any kind of performance enhancing drugs, but you just always had the guys like, you know, A-Rod, them type of guys. When they got up to the plate, man, it was just must see TV. And you just always wanted to see them boys hit home runs. And that's why we appreciate Sammy Sosa for just swinging for the fences. But, I guess they made the right decision because them boys did cheat the game. But, man, I feel like baseball lost. Like I said, baseball, the purists are going to always be there, right? They're going to go to the games. They're going to buy merchandise. They're going to watch it on TV. But I feel like you will never have the casual fans' attention like you did in the steroid era, man. And I think Roger Clemens had actually made a statement. Let me pull it up real fast. I'm gonna read it for you. Let me see. He said, "Hey y'all, I figured I'd give y'all a statement since it's that time of the year again." And he said, "My family and I put the Hall of Fame in the rearview mirror 10 years ago. I didn't play baseball to get into the Hall of Fame. I played to make a generational difference in the lives of my family. Then focus on winning championships while giving back to my community and the fans as well. It was my passion. I gave it all I had the right way for my family and for the fans who supported me. I am grateful for that support. I would like to thank those who took the time to look at the facts and vote for me. Hopefully everyone can now close this book and keep their eyes forward, focusing on what is really important in life, all love." And that was from Roger Clemens. And I haven't found out if Barry Bonds made a statement or not yet. He probably won't make one. He probably felt the same way. Like he probably had given up on the idea years ago. He just knew that he just wasn't a likable guy. And even though he's one of the greatest baseball players that ever played, you can't argue that. And his pre-steroid era resume, as well as Roger Clemens, it speaks for itself, man. Like, if they would have retired before they started using steroids, or I'll say before we perceived them to have started using steroids, they both would have been in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. And like one of my partners was saying, they arguably had two Hall of Fame careers within one career. And that's kind of true, man. They both, it's like they had two separate careers, and they both was Hall of Fame worthy. And one of them was considered to be clean, and one of them was considered to be dirty. And they both are getting punished, and they're not gonna be Hall of Famers, man. But it's just kind of like I said, man. I'm speaking for the casuals, man, and it's just disappointing for casual fans like myself because that's the one sport that I just felt like, even though they was all out there cheating, it was just better. For like I said, for me, anyways, and I just don't know if I'll ever have the same interest in baseball that I did at that time, because it's just in America, man. We just got to be honest. Football is the king of sports in America, right? And basketball is number two. You might have some certain individuals that might argue that basketball is a 1A situation, but me personally, I say football is number one, basketball is number two, and baseball is a distant third, man. And I just feel like the average fan just doesn't really care about baseball. Like I watch golf um more than I would watch baseball. Like I actually like golf. Now that I've gotten older, that's the one sport that I can actually still play a little bit, you know, and not really receive too many serious injuries. You don't really necessarily have to be in the greatest of shape, although being in good shape helps. Um, but I love to watch golf, man. I'll watch golf any day over baseball, no matter what. And yeah, man, it just if you wasn't paying attention to baseball in that era, man, you missed a lot of good baseball, man. It was a lot of dominating pitchers and a lot of dominating hitters, man, and they all were kind of perceived to be taking some juice to compete with each other. And it was fun, man. It was a great time. And unfortunately for me, my boy Roger Clemens, the Rocket, he shut out of the Hall of Fame, man. But anyways, y'all tell me, man, how do y'all feel about it? How do y'all tell me how you feel about the steroid era in general? Do you feel like was it a good time watching baseball for you? Are you a purist? Do you still watch baseball? Just let me know how you feel about the game in general then and since, they've cleaned it up, so to speak. Just let me know how you feel about that, man, and we'll get back at it. Sports and Discourse, Derek Stevenson.